Hey everyone, thank you for watching. In today's video, I'm really excited to do. I'm going to be talking about 20 of the worst products from 20 brands in 20 minutes. So I recently did this video, but the 20 best products inspired from Jen Love's reviews. I'll have both of her videos, best and worst, linked down below, and then I will also have my best of video linked down below if you missed that one. When I posted that, I had a bunch of people request that I do the worst side of this as well, as Jen also did, and I said, of course I will. Why not? So if you wanted to hear about the 20 products from 20 brands that I just thought were no good, let me go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so out of all of these products, I only have one product still in my collection, and it's because it's a fairly newer one, so I'll be inserting some photos on the screen, so move a little bit closer to Perry, my potted palm. Okay, jumping into it, not going in any sort of particular order here, and I will say, I looked back on some of my older videos, just trying to get some inspiration, seeing my disappointing products, you know, my like worst of like during the year videos, and it was first of all hilarious to watch like 2016 Samantha talk about products with like my tiny little voice, my red background, my 20 bracelets on each hand. That was a lot of fun, so I really enjoyed working on this video. Okay, so I have Anasazi Beverly Hills. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing this in under 20 minutes. Let's go. Anasazi Beverly Hills. Her liquid lipsticks I never got on with. I never saw the hype with. I never understood these. And I tried so hard getting these liquid lipsticks. I wanted to swatch them in store. I wanted to see what colors I wanted because so many people were recommending all these different shades. I wanted to find them in stores. They were constantly sold out. Everybody was talking about them on YouTube. I finally got my hands on them and I was severely disappointed. So moussey, so dry, so cakey. And I remember this was when the liquid lipstick, you know, kind of craze was first starting to come out, and I was like, I don't think liquid lipsticks are meant for me. And then I went on to find brands that I thought released great liquid lipsticks and really enjoyed the liquid lipstick trend. But wow, Anasazi Beverly Hills liquid lips, those things are not for me. Alrighty, so next up I have a drugstore brand. This is Revlon, and I have the Instant Filter Foundation. So not only did I not like the packaging, the component on this foundation, it was like this tube with like a sponge on top and a little tiny hole in there, and you would push up the product through it and you were supposed to be able to like apply with that sponge. No good. I didn't like that at all. But also the foundation looked straight up horrible on me. I've had a lot of misses with foundations, and I think there's multiple foundations that are going to be mentioned in here, but that one was one of the worst that I've tried for sure from Revlon. Okay, this is really dredging up some bad memories, guys. Oh, let's move on. Oh, to the next one. This is also a memory I would like to forget. From Marc Jacobs. I like a lot from Marc Jacobs, especially a lot of lip products. That's what I mentioned in the best of video, but the Remarkable foundation, I am so glad I just got a sample of this one and I didn't go out and buy the full-size foundation. This looked horrendous on me. It was so thick and so cakey and so just like sat on top of my skin. It looked quite honestly just horrible on me. I got a sample of it because so many people, again at the time a few years back, were recommending this one, were saying just how amazing your skin would look if you wore this, and I was like, no, 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 not at all, Marc Jacobs. Ooh, that one was no good. Alright, so from Maybelline, I had a few misses from Maybelline. They popped up here and there in some of my older videos, but the Superstay Matte Lipsticks, I hope I'm saying that correctly. There again will be a photo on the screen. I'll probably link all these products as well because again, this is just my worst of, and everybody has different makeup preferences, works best for them, you know, skin types and all of that. So it's all personal preference. So I'll link things because maybe I'll say something that you'll think, that's what I love, you know, fantastic. That's what makes the world go round, all being different. But these lipsticks, I did not like at all. These, honestly, these are some of the worst liquid lipsticks that I feel like I have ever tried. Not only were they super dry and just like emphasized every single line on my lips, which are already dry enough, but they were sticky. Like when I put them on, my lips were stuck together and you wouldn't be able to understand what I was saying. It was the most bizarre thing. So from Too Faced, I have been purchasing from Too Faced for such a long time. One of my first high-end brands that really caught my attention. I've had quite a few misses from Too Faced over the year, but the one that I thought would be really fun to mention in this video was the chocolate chip palette, that like mini palette. Oh, I was so mad at this palette, and one of the reasons I thought to include in this video is because it kind of is what made me go on a break from Too Faced. I actually stopped purchasing from Too Faced for over a year. I was frustrated with a few different things, but also a lot of their newer releases that I was trying, I was just like, this isn't the quality, this isn't what I've come to expect from Too Faced, this isn't the same brand that I used to put so much money into. I used to review for Too Faced before I was a YouTuber, before Too Faced was this huge brand, well-known brand that it is now. I was one of their first like product reviewers when I was, you know, simply just a blogger before YouTube became YouTube. And I was just so disappointed, and I was so excited for these little mini chip palettes that were coming out. I ran out and purchased it right away, filmed a YouTube video for it, and I was just like, what the heck? What is going on here? No. And so I thought, as I was going back through my videos, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna mention that one because I feel like that was one of the first times on my YouTube channel that I really got fired up over a makeup release gone wrong, if you will, was that one from Too Faced. So I went on a break from Too Faced for a bit. We're back on. I have some Too Faced on my face today. I, of course, always link all my makeup in the description box if you're curious, but oh, that was funny to rewatch that video, let me tell you. Okay, from NYX, kind of along the same line, I had a few, you know, fails from NYX. I've been buying from NYX again for a very long time, a more affordable brand, but I decided to put in here their Fire palette. This was another release that just really had me fired up, if you will, because I just didn't think the quality was there. They released a bunch of these different palettes, and they were all in collaboration, or like not necessarily in collaboration with, but there was other YouTubers and influencers that were kind of like the face of the campaign. And I just thought, oh my gosh, how amazing. And the palettes really got a lot of negative feedback. There were some that I think were better than others, but the Fire palette was extremely disappointing to me. I felt like my looks were nothing like what people were creating online, and I was seeing in photos my swatches were completely different. And these were expensive palettes for NYX. I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but I remember when they came out with those palettes, I was like, that is so expensive for a NYX palette. What is going on here? You know, I'm sure like having all these influencers played a part in that, but I thought because there were so many people backing these palettes and because of the price, I was like, I'm going to get great quality here, and I was incredibly disappointed. I returned that palette, and once again, that had me all kinds of fired up in my review videos for it. I was not happy. Okay, from Tarte Cosmetics, I had a few misses from Tarte as well. Again, I thought about the Clay Play 2 palette because that was a big debacle that I mentioned on my channel, but I was like, you know what? One item that I just really didn't enjoy that was a really big miss for me, and actually thinking product-wise and not so much like drama, if you will, was their stick foundation. And I was really excited for the Tarte stick foundation. I will say that I just don't think stick foundations work for me in general. I've tried a lot of stick foundations, and I'm not a huge fan of a lot of them. But the one from Tarte was not good at all. I tried it so many times because I really did want to enjoy it, but it was just not great. I felt like you had to use so much product to get any sort of coverage, and it was like you would go from having like light coverage on your skin, but then you would want to build it up at least into medium, but then all of a sudden you went to like full-on cake face, and it was like, what's happening here? It was just really bizarre. It was a very like slippery product, like broke up on your face very quickly, just not very long lasting. And I just have to say, I just did not think that one was a good one from Tarte, and I really don't ever hear anybody talking about it. Not only just now because it's been a couple years, but like even back then, back in the day, I just feel like it didn't have a lot of good feedback, if you will. Okay, so from Rimmel, this is the product that I do have in my collection because this is a newer release. This is the Stay Matte Full Coverage Mattifying Foundation. So I just did a foundation ranking video recently. Those videos are also inspired from Jen. She's great. And this was like my least favorite in that video, but I also mentioned full coverage mattifying. That's not my preference. I have dry skin. I like a medium to full coverage. I like a natural finish and so on. But this foundation is so thick and just, again, very cakey on the skin, very heavy on the skin. It very much looks like you're wearing a lot of makeup when you wear this, so I really wasn't a fan. What I thought was super interesting about this, when I was looking through past videos, I actually have another Rimmel Stay Matte that I mentioned in like a disappointing video. So I thought that was funny because I believe this has been repackaged and all of that, but even back then, I didn't love that foundation, and years later, still don't love the foundation. So I honestly kind of forgot about it. It was more in like a square-ish tube, if you will, but I said almost the exact same things as I've been saying about this foundation. So I just thought that was kind of funny. It was kind of a blast from the past. When I held it up, I was like, wait a second, didn't I just try out that foundation? So that was kind of interesting to see. Alrighty, next up I have from Morphe. So again, quite a few misses that I could have mentioned from Morphe. They popped up a bit in my disappointing videos or regret videos, but one product that just really I could not get to work for me was the concealers. Now I know Morphe just released new foundation and concealers recently, and I'm not talking about that. It was actually from like last year or maybe even a little bit longer. It was a concealer. It was in more of like a clear plastic packaging, and I thought it was one of the like worst concealers I have ever tried. It was so dry. Just immediately as you put it on, it felt like you were scraping your skin, and as I was watching the videos, that's what I was saying. I felt like I was scraping my skin as I was applying it, and then trying to blend it out. It just did not work for me at all. It emphasized every little line under my eyes. It was so dry. It was not great. So that concealer from the past from Morphe still haunts my dreams. Over to Benefit Cosmetics, I have the same one that Jen did mention in her video. This is the push-up liner. Oh man, I went out and bought this because people were saying good things about it and how easy it was to use, and I felt completely duped by that because this was not good at all. And from the first time I got it, just the way to apply it and to use it it's not user friendly at all. And I would get it everywhere. It would like fall off the component that was on. This was not a great eyeliner, and I don't know what it was. I don't know why so many people were recommending it. I don't know what that was about, but it's not a good one. I don't even know if it's still for sale. Did Jen say it's still for sale? It might still be for sale. I don't know how that's possible because that's just not a good product. I truly believe that. Okay, next up I have from Smashbox. Smashbox has, to me, when I was looking through my videos and looking through my Smashbox collection, they have a lot of really solid products, and they have a lot of products that even if they aren't a favorite, I still think that they're pretty darn good. But I will say that their cover shop palettes were really disappointing to me, and they got brought up multiple times in these videos. And I just wanted to love them so much, and there was so much hype around these, and I actually ended up purchasing multiple palettes, and they were like $27 or something for these little palettes, and I kept buying them because I kept thinking like, why don't I love these? Other people are enjoying them. What's wrong with me? I must love them. I must find the one that is the one for me. And I just couldn't get on with them. And then it was like, for a while there, it was all Smashbox was releasing was just like new versions of the cover shop palettes. And I was like, please do something else. I don't like these at all. I don't understand the hype around these. So the Smashbox cover shop palettes just never, just could never really get on with them. From Colourpop Cosmetics, this was a hard one too because I like a lot from Colourpop. I have a lot of Colourpop on today. I have the new Main Squeeze palette on my eyes. While they do have a few misses, I don't know if there's been a lot from Colourpop that I'm like, that's just like not a great product. It's like, okay, like not good, maybe not for me. I can still use it, you know? But their new lip glosses, like the So Juicy glosses, I just don't, these are not for me. I've reviewed them recently. They're just no good. They're such a thick lip gloss, and you know, we're all different. There's people out there that like green beans. That's like mind-boggling to me. I know that there's people out there that enjoy these glosses, and I just couldn't get on with them at all. They were, again, like they said, they're so thick, they're so goopy. They show like you get like the lines, like the weirdness in the mouth. No. Like I could not do these. I tried, and it got to the point where I couldn't even wear them through a full video because again, they would do such the weird things on my lips, and I was like, this is a no for me. So from Colourpop, those So Glossy glosses, the lip glosses. Oh. No. Okay. Oh, I feel like I'm really going to be cutting close to the 20-minute time mark. Let's keep going. So From Fenty Beauty, I will have to say Fenty Beauty is a very hit or miss brand for me. I either like really like their products or really don't like their products, but the foundation that they first released, I did not like that foundation at all. And once again, like I said, I am not a full coverage mattifying type of girl, and that's exactly what that foundation was. So it just didn't work for me. It just, you know, is one of those, but it didn't look great on my skin. Again, what I've been saying about the other foundations, so heavy, so thick on my skin. No matter how I was trying to apply it, it just did not look great on me. So I'm hoping Fenty will release, you know, a different type of foundation, you know, maybe a more medium coverage, maybe a more natural or a dewy finish. I think that would be cool, but that first foundation definitely did not work for me. From Becca Cosmetics, just a few misses in there that I had written down from Becca, but one that I really don't enjoy is their Backlight Priming Filter. Now the First Light Priming Filter, I really like the purple one, but kind of like the original one that came out. I was buying this because people were starting to rave about it, and I was like, what is this product? I have dry skin, but even when I wear it, I look like a disco ball, like a oil slick at the end of the day. Not even the end of the day, just a few hours into wearing it. No matter what foundation I was putting over it, no matter if I was powdering, no matter what I was doing, whenever I wore this, I looked like a greasy mess, and that rarely happens to me. So that one was just, I could not wear that, and I was so disappointed in that one. From Nars, I have another one that is like one of their best sellers. Again, I purchased it because so many people were recommending it, and it's their Radiant Creamy Concealer. I just never could get on with this one. I felt like it was very drying. Once again, I didn't feel like it was very easy to blend on my under eyes, and it was one of those that I bought and was like, what? Why was everyone recommending this to me? Why would you do that? Thought we were friends. Natasha Denona, like I mentioned in the best of video, I haven't tried a ton from Natasha because she's pretty pricey, but I will say her like Chroma Crystal top coats, I just didn't think was a very good product. In my defense, in her defense, I've only tried one. Maybe I got a bad one, you know, maybe something funky happened there, but I was so excited about this one, and it was like $28. You know, it's very expensive for one product, one top coat that you just put on your eyes. I used it either 1 or 2 times, and then it was done for. It was completely dried out. I was so disappointed, and you know, they're very pricey, and I just didn't feel like it did much. And, you know, I've tried other kind of these top coats from Marc Jacobs and Hourglass, and I felt like those are so much better than the Natasha, so I was super disappointed in that product from her. From Laura Mercier, this was funny. This was a blast from the past. I had completely forgotten about this product. It's called the Secret Camouflage Concealer. Oh man, I went into a whole story in one of my past videos about I went to a Sephora in New York when I was there on a book signing. I'm a published author. I was there many years ago with my husband, and I said, please can we go into Sephora, and I'm going to buy one product and one product only. And I picked this up on a recommendation from Carly Bible, and I said I would watch her videos and she would apply it, and it was so smooth and it was so easy, and she would look amazing, and then I would do it and I looked so bad, and I didn't understand what I was doing wrong, and I kept trying and I kept trying. So I was like, that was your one product that you chose from Sephora, like you have to get on with this. And it looked so terrible on me. Oh, watching that video and me telling that story had me rolling because I was so dramatic about it. But you have to remember, I was still younger, and I was just so sad I spent my money on that. Oh man. Okay, so we're almost done. 3 more. Oh boy. From Stila, I have written down the Foiled Finish Eyeshadow. This was another product that was so expensive, and I didn't think it was a great product, but also it was so complicated to use. It came with like this little tin and it came with a tin, the actual product, and then like a liquid, because you were supposed to pick up some of the product, put it onto the tin, put this dropper, mix it up, and then put it on your eyes, and it was supposed to be a foiled finished eyeshadow. Oh man, especially for little baby Samantha, who barely knows how to do makeup anyways, for me to have this complicated eyeshadow, I was so confused, and then I could never get the consistency right, so it was like weird chunkiness on my eyes, and I kept trying because I wanted to be cool. I wasn't cool, and I didn't look good. Except from Charlotte Tilbury, this product almost like turned me off from Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, and if you watched my best of video, I mentioned Pillow Talk. I am glad that the Kim K Kim KW lipstick didn't turn me off from her lipsticks completely. That is a different formula. It's more of like the cream formula, and I just don't like that one. I don't think it sticks to my lips very well. It did like weird things on the inner part of my lips. It was not flattering. The shade wasn't great either, don't get me wrong, but the actual formula I just did not like, and I was like, why are people recommending Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks? You've got to be kidding me. And then I freaking bit the bullet and bought another like $34 lipstick in Pillow Talk, and I was like, this doesn't work. I don't even know what I'm gonna, you know, I was like so dramatic, I didn't even know what I was gonna do, but it worked and it ended up being a favorite, so phew. But those like cream lipsticks, not my jam from Charlotte Tilbury. And finally, the 20th brand, I chose out Milk Makeup, and this is their Luminous blur stick. So they came out with the blur stick, which was kind of like, that's kind of one of the first products I think of when I think of Milk Makeup, kind of what put them on the map, at least to me. And I really quite enjoyed it. And so then they came out with this luminous one, and because I have dry skin, I was like, super cool, can't wait to try this. And it looked so bad. It did that weird like pilling up thing on my skin. Foundation did not sit well over it. I felt like any foundation that I wore over it kind of broke up very quickly again as well. It just did not look good on the skin at all. I was really disappointed with that one, and I was really excited for it because I thought it would be great to have in addition to the blur stick for what I wanted, a little bit of a glow. But it was like that. It was not well. I did not enjoy that one from Milk Makeup. But after that, those are my 20 worst products from 20 brands in maybe 20 minutes. I'm not really sure how we're doing on this one. Might be a little bit longer, but I hope that you enjoyed seeing it and seeing some of my worst products. Leave some of yours down below. I would love to know. And of course, this video is all in good fun. It's not too serious, but thank you to Jen Loves Reviews for a fun video. All of the other videos will be linked in my description box, of course. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video.